Hi, welcome back. Today I'm just showcasing some Derwent ink temp pencils that I have been lucky enough to have for my birthday, which is not till next week, so I can use them. So I've got some paint brushes. The stamps I'm using are Lavinia stamps, Gus the Owl and the sign, some clear embossing powder, some craft cardstock. The white cardstock I like to use is Linda Chapman World of Paper, and I always make my own bases. I have already stamped and heat embossed the owl and a couple of ink pads for doing some ink blending, and I've stamped the owl out with the VersaFine Clear Nocturne and obviously used my homemade embossing buddy. So I've already gone ahead and stamped my image and I've cut it out with a couple of dies I've used. So the smaller one is the inner and then the outer one I've cut for the craft cardstock. So I just grabbed a few pencils out which I thought I would use for this project and some clean water, and all I'm going to do is just roughly sketch with the crayons, well I say crayons, they are proper grade ink pencils, just lightly down, mixing a couple of the colours as I go, but I'm not doing anything fancy, just popping it down where I think I'd like them. And of course when you've done the heat embossing, when you've stamped, it does help to keep everything in the lines and make your image pop. And it is quite a very quick process of colouring, and you can do your light and shade without really having to try hard. I'd just like to thank the people that have commented on my projects. As you know, I am new to YouTube, and it is very encouraging, so thank you so much. So if anyone would like to give me a thumbs up and a comment, it's much appreciated. Thank you. So I'm just carry on going round the owl. And it is always good if you've got quite a good sharp point on your pencils, so that you can get in all the nooks and crannies that you need to with any image. And I'm certainly not a colourist. Just a crafter. I just need to tell you, the have an owlsome birthday, and the name I've popped on the side of my image. I did that with the computer first, so printed that out, cut with the die my actual base, which is done on Bristol smooth cardstock, because I want to do a little watercolour in. The Bristol smooth takes water really well, and it does print on nicely as well. but I don't put a lot of water down with these pencils. I didn't want to flood anything, but really you don't. These pencils are a dream to work with. And I have got to be honest, I've been wanting some of these pencils to try out for such a long time, and I did see them advertised, and I thought, oh, I'd love to buy those. They come in a wooden drawer of 48. That's the set I've got, but my kind husband said, I'll buy you those for your birthday. So I was highly delighted. So anybody that wants to try these Derwent Inktense pencils, I can honestly say you won't be disappointed. And as you can see, when I start to add a little water to them, it brings these pencils to life. So with this tummy, I'm just putting the lighter colour in the centre and a little darker colour around the outside. I have made swatches of these pencils as well, as everybody recommends doing swatches when you get any new pens or pencils, but to be fair, I didn't use the swatch. I just picked up some colours that I thought that would be appropriate for my project, and I think I only used 3 of them while I was doing this owl. I just wanted it to keep very tonal. And because it's a masculine card as well, I just wanted to keep everything quite basic. I think I would love to try and make a girly owl. You could do the owl with shades of purples and pinks and really bring Gus to life as a girl. And of course there's nothing stopping you, if you wanted to do it in girly colours, you could pop a bow on top of the owl's head or on the side. Even pop a hat on her. Now, as you can see, just colouring it with the small brush, it's really nice and easy to blend these pencils, and that owl just soon pops to life. As you can see with my dipping into the brush for the water, I've got some kitchen towel at the side of me, and I do dab the brush onto the kitchen towel so that it's only damp, my brush, and not saturated with water to flood the image. I also do from light to dark with the pencils, not all the time, but just on certain areas where I just want to make it a little more varying with the light and shade. But like I say, I'm not a professional colourist. I just pop the colour down as I want it, and just do the brushing accordingly. So there's not really a right and wrong way to do it. It's just the way you feel comfortable in doing anything. This is so relaxing. Because it's a quick project as well, I always find that because it comes together so easy, you don't sort of get stressy about it. Because sometimes I feel we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make a project look a certain way, or you might want to copy, well, not really copy, but take inspiration from other people, and you might be disappointed in your effort. But everyone's different. So doing this method, I feel that no one would be ever disappointed in what you've done. And if you find that you lose your mojo, this is a good one to get really back into it, because it's a quick make. And of course you don't have to do an owl. You can stamp any image out and just colour in this way. It's so easy. I'm just protecting my work there as well, as I put a little colour around the owl's eye. And using a finer brush just to add some dampness around that to blend it out. So I'm just going to put a little colour down onto the secret garden sign, just as a shaded area, not all over, and just to bring the whole design together with the colour theme. And you don't have to press hard at all with these pencils to get a good result. And just cleaning my brush off and putting the protective cap on the bristles. And giving the image a blot, although to be fair, it was practically dry anyway. Now I have made a mask already because I just want to put a mask around the owl and the sign so that I can do a little ink blending to give a halo around it. So getting my ink and a blending brush. Just very lightly going around the images. Just to tone in the colours. So turning my work as I go. And when I make my mask, I cut the main image out, but I don't cut all the fancy fiddly bits on the outside. So now bringing in the peachy colour. And again taking some off onto my mat, mixing those colours together very lightly. Taking the mask off, and it'll do the lovely reveal of the finished image, and I'm really happy how that's looking. And I just put a little white Posca pen on the owl's eyes, just to highlight the white of his eyes again. Now to make my base card up. So I always make my own base cards, and this is going to be 7 by 7. And then the second piece is 7 by 7.5. So on the 7.5 side, I put a score in at 7. And I'm doing the tenfold card, and I like a stability base, so that is 7 by 4. And on the 4 sides, score at 1/2, 2 and 3.5. So I'm just folding and burnishing the larger piece of the base card, and I'm using wet glue, but you could use tape or tape runner if you wish. And I bring the second piece up onto the desk so that both edges are sitting flush on the desk, and they will meet at the top exactly, and giving it a burnish on both sides. But of course, if you want to make yours a side folding card, you can do. So I'm going to put my image onto the craft cardstock, which with the dies I've used, I've gone one further up. So that the craft cardstock is a 6x6. And I'm just going to stick that down with wet glue. I did contemplate putting it on foam tape, but I decided just to lay it down flat. So centering that up, and giving it a press, and I like to turn mine over, obviously onto the clean surface, and give it a press from behind. The wet glue I use is the Tonic Studios Deluxe Quick Grab Glue. And I'm pressing that down again and giving it a press from behind. Now with the base, I'm just going to fold and burnish those score lines that we've made. Then I'm going to put my glue onto both sides. So with the front side, pop the inner folded side towards the front. When you get it into position, just give it a little press. Fold it all together and bring the back edge of the card up to meet the rest, and it'll naturally fall into its sitting position. Then you can give that a good burnish with your bone folder on both sides. And as you can see, it's a nice clean finish and it won't splay your card. The back of it is where I'm going to put my personalised decoration and sentiment. Thank you for watching. I hope you've liked it, and see you again soon.